Hello to both of you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. I will start with sharing. My name is Jenna. I am a development director for Right at Home. So let's go ahead and do some introductions and share who you are, your location, what year you became a franchise owner with Right at Home, and the number of territories that you own.
Okay, I'll go first. My name is Grace Atwood. We've been around going on 11 years in September, and I'll let my other half do the rest.
We started in we opened in September 16th, 2013, right? Um, and we started with two territories and now we have five.
Mhm.
And the area, you almost have to be out here to understand it because it's kind of like it's a corridor now because we bought these territories with no design that goes up the freeway. It basically goes up 605 freeway. It's the best I can describe it. Some people
Yeah,
call it.
another way to describe it, our neighbor is Mickey Mouse. So we're 10 minutes from Disneyland, and that's like the center of our territory. And we go as far south as Huntington Beach and as far north as Whittier and Hacienda Heights, up to
Won-
605.
Yeah. That was
Wonderful.
Yeah. And our design, the name of the company is still the same one that we had at the beginning. I mean, the name of our location is Northwest Orange County. It really should be West Orange County or North. Anyway, we're the only county, we're the only owners in the, in California that straddle LA and Orange County.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. So, why don't you share a little bit about your background before becoming a right at home owner?
Okay. Um, so my background is mechanical engineering, and I worked in the quality engineering department for a heart valve company, a medical device company. So my experience prior to this chapter in my career life has all been about quality, meeting customer expectations, and just making sure that key processes are in place. Right. So we did it for heart valves, something that gets entered into the body, but the same knowledge is I do my best to try to carry it into this industry. Because it's just as critical providing
Mhm.
care at home. So I've been having a lot of fun. And I started working with my husband 5 years ago. He started the business, so he's definitely the heart of the business, and he's the man to get it started. But we've been married 31 years, and the past 5 years, we've been learning to dance together into business as well as life. So I think we got the dance down. It wasn't easy the
Oh,
first year, though.
I love that.
Your turn.
Yeah. So, I have electronic engineering, uh, background and then both of us ended up doing stuff. Well, you went into quality and then I went into leading different groups. So I got out of the designing of circuit boards and stuff pretty quick into the people part of it. And the company makes medical laboratory equipment that tells you how much cholesterol you have in your blood and stuff like that, or all kinds of chemistries, all kinds of blood work, diagnostic work. So neither one of us really had a background in taking care of people, taking except for just normal life experiences. Um, So that was the corporate part. And then Grace really does apply it. I mean, like people that have worked in our staff, they have a whole new language. Like you have a failure mode, just like heart valves. And then what is it that you're gonna design the failure out, or you're gonna put a mitigation in it, or you're gonna, I mean that's the way we talk because of her background. And then I would say the other thing that my background that started in 2010, 3 years before we opened is from church. I volunteered to follow in my mom's footsteps. She was an RN, but she also taught us about nursing homes and stuff when we were little. And
Mhm.
so I had this ministry in 2010 started where we're visiting nursing homes. Both of us were visiting nursing homes and visiting people that are homebound, don't have anywhere to go. I mean, they can't get out, older people. And so when I got laid off in 2012, and then I was kind of looking half-heartedly for something that I'd just done for 30 years. I like leading
Mhm.
people and stuff, but I mean half-heartedly, the same old medical equipment and stuff. And then Grace was praying. She was visiting one of her teams in where was it?
I was visiting one of my teams in Utah, and then I was praying for my husband because he just got laid off. And then at the end of my prayer, we're landing, and then I took out the magazine that they have in front of you on airplanes.
Delta Airlines.
And when I opened it up for Right at Home. And I read it, and I read its purpose, and I knew that it matched Vernon's not only career but spiritual journey. So I took the magazine, brought it home, put it on his honey-do list, and within 3 months, he did his due diligence, and we purchased a franchise, and it's been we completely believe it's been God-given.
Yeah. And by the way, the honey-do list, a lot of times husbands, they don't immediately get to the honey-do items. But I actually called them that day, and so, but Right at Home is not in a hurry, as you know, they check out us, and it's kind of a dance in itself. So it took 3 months before we actually opened up, but I called that day. That was something I knew. As soon as she told me about it, I was like, yeah, this is.
I love that. What a neat story. And let me layer into that, Vernon, because I know you started the business as well. So what was it about Right at Home that made you decide to choose us?
Yeah, good question. So, after working for 30 years for corporate, Beckman Coulter has this placement set up, when they lay people off. And so we went and I looked at everything. I looked at all kinds of stuff. And then, and we always wanted to have our own business. But anyway, so they set me up with this person in this firm. And, he was like, what do you want to do? Do you want like a dry cleaning business where you just like collect money, or do you want to be in the community or what? And I go, yeah, definitely in the community. In fact, I want the business to be in our community. And he goes, well, there's, and he went over a couple of things, and he goes, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of different in-home care companies, but if Right at Home has a territory near you, that's the one you need to take over all the other ones. And he wasn't getting paid by Right Home or anything.
Nice.
And they had and have high ratings, as far as. So that's how I started. So I
Awesome.
called.
Well, thank you so much. And my goodness, 5 territories, and it sounds like you have the dance down
Yeah.
per Grace. So, walk me through what a typical day looks like for you and your Right at Home business.
Okay. You're doing a lot more of the day. We're kind of doing. See, one of the secrets of dancing together is you make sure you take separate parts of the business. I think everybody says that if you talk to any of the owners that are married.
Yeah, so Vernon does business development and I do the day-to-day operations. So a typical day would be, 8 a.m. in the morning, check with the team, any fires, we call them fires, any emergencies, any hot topics, and we call that a right start meeting. And then the team knows exactly what they need to do for the day, and just check in with them, see again midday, and then towards the end of the day we have a wrap-up meeting, and it's just to talk about what happened during the day, and then just anything to prepare for the next day. So my day is very routine. Yeah, there's new things that come up all the time, but the process itself is very routine. And that's what I do. And I check in with a couple clients via phone call or via visits, and that's the funnest part of the week for me. And that's about it. And then checking with referral sources and seeing what we can do about presentations and just community outreach. So not every day is the same, but it's every day is a joy.
Yeah. And
What's your day like?
and so we've been doing this for almost 11 years. So if the audience for this is future owners, the days have drastically changed from the beginning days, as you can imagine, because in the beginning it was me, and it's usually one other person, whether it wasn't Grace. Grace was our breadwinner back then, because initially you're not bringing in a lot of money for the home, Anyway, so my days then was really trying to get the day started, much like Grace talked about, but with a very small staff, maybe one person, and then going out and trying to stir up business, find out where I could present, where I could talk to people, and, try to apply the tools that they taught me in training. And so nowadays, fast forward 11 years, it's really different. I'm doing more direct marketing now, but it goes up and down because sometimes we have other people doing direct marketing. Like
Mhm.
we have one person up in the office we just bought, her and Grace are going to a sales training next week, to get better at this direct marketing. So and then some of my days are doing, financial stuff more, but I love, and then usually I think, well, if I own this 25 years, if we owned it, I'd want to do consultations, intakes,
You'll
where
always want to do
that
that.
first one where somebody calls us, and then one of the staff sets up a consultation, and then whoever's available, Grace, me, or a direct marketer, or somebody. Usually, if I'm available, I'll go, because that's something I really love.
Mhm.
It just revigorates you. You come in, you meet this situation that is, a daughter's stressed out because her mom just fell. Dad doesn't want anybody in the house, and I walk into that, and then just take it easy. It's not a sales call. You're just listening to
Right.
what they need, because of our faith. We go, look, if you want us to take care of this person, help us. Uh,
Mhm.
and then it's just it's chaotic, but then you listen to everything, and then if they say yes, then you set it all up, and then you come back there and do an intro with the caregiver, and then you keep checking up on them, like Grace was saying, we call clients, and you see that the peace that we caused.
Mm,
We help provide. Mm.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, so going from the chaos to peace and calm. And I think it doesn't get any better than that. So thank you for sharing such specifics on your day. So when you think about the support that Right at Home provides, what would you say is the most valuable piece?
The most valuable support you do, like over the years, and again, it changes. If you're brand new, you're talking to them every minute. You're talking to you're talking to your Right Start manager a lot,
Mhm.
because
Yeah, for me, I do love the performance group. Every time we meet with our peers, we get kind of like we're always motivated, but it just kind of like pushes it up to another level, sharing those bright ideas and want to implement that. So for me, it's an opportunity to meet with our peers who are doing the exact same thing as we are. Um, that's probably the most valuable, but there's many things. I'm on the hub every day. Um, but so that's my thing.
yeah, I agree with the performance group. Right at Home is always, in the 11 years we've been with them, if you talk to their staff, they would probably tell you that they're trying to balance this fire hose of information. So, Right at Home is always trying to support. They provide tremendous support, but then owners are not ready to receive all of it at once, all of it every
Mhm.
week, every day. So they keep honing that and making it easier and easier. It sounds like a commercial for Right at Home, but I think when you first start out, there's so much information you just miss. You're missing half of it. So in other words, they're providing you tons of information that you could use, like how to get into hospital, all this. But you're so busy at the beginning, it's hard to receive it all. And then when you go to a performance group, or you go to home improvement, where you meet together with all these other owners and see these things, again, fire hose, and you're just trying to implement one thing when you get back. But the performance group, I think, is probably the most thing now that really, really helps us a ton. Just talking to the other owners. I would say the Takeoff Tuesday has been
Yeah,
been a big
a
thing.
Takeoff Tuesday has been very helpful from like an engineering mindset, sharing best practices. I like that. And then qualifying suppliers. That's
Mhm.
all the stuff that we did in medical device. And I was happy to see that we have that in this franchise.
The other thing I would say from a, you know, I got it. The other thing I did get, besides the corporate education, and Grace has got a gerontologist degree that she's built up, during COVID,
Mhm.
and I had an MBA. But the MBA brain of me, if you look at the key success factor for being in this industry versus making dog bowls or something, when you're taking care of moms and dads and grandmothers and stuff, the key success factor is loving, trainable caregivers, and there's not an abundance of them, as you can imagine.
Mhm.
And so the support Right at Home is built around that. they really shifted their focus a few years ago to really try to help us with all kinds of stuff. So uh, we have stuff like our recruiting tools, we have, retention tools, and, I think, and then like they've even like have countries that you can outsource recruiters to make it low cost. But what I love about that from a competition standpoint is that everybody, no matter if you're Jeff Bezos or whoever coming into this space, you're going to run into this caregiver issue, where it's just, there's not around everywhere. And you are all fighting for these loving training caregivers. And, every time we go to performance groups or home improvement, we learn new tricks and tools to get better caregivers.
Yeah.
And to retain them. And so,
Yeah.
we got to be beating, like think of it in sports. I mean, what I mean, it's helping us have an edge. It is.
Good summary.
Good, good. And you both spoke to the performance group. So could you explain a little bit more about what a performance group is?
All right. Well, it started with profit mastery. So, the idea was, I think, to get people together and learn how to survive in the system in excel and flourish by having a good, profit. Because you can have all the big heart in the world, but if you're not making gross profit, then you're not going to have anything to give away to your employees or, build a staff or anything. So it all starts with that. So that's where it started. But it's so much more than that, because you go there and almost all the formats are all different, but we started in 2014. You usually go there ahead of time with burning issues, things that you're just trying to solve that are having difficult with, and then bright ideas, that things that you've actually tried that work and that maybe somebody else could use. And then we go present our financials to each other, which I think it's a beautiful thing, like you just don't care what anybody thinks. These are all your board of directors, if you will. They're there to help you get better. And then there's friendship and all that. But but I think you just definitely during those 2 days, you just keep they help you solve your burning issues, and they help you. And then these bright ideas, we've taken some of these bright ideas that we learned in performance groups. Some are little, they seem little, but they're really interesting. I'll just give you a brief example. So when we first started out, new owners, unless they already are in this industry, they're going to say, okay, I get it that you need to go talk to, assisted living, managers and hospital case managers and stuff like that. But when you do get the meeting and you guys keep saying to build relationships, so you have to keep coming back and visiting them. So what the heck do you talk about? And that used to be a burning issue back in like 2015. And it's interesting because all these other owners, like one of them was like a little ahead of us. He was from New York, Brooklyn, and he's like, do this, do this. It was very simple things.
Yeah, it's very good. They want the best for you. And so any feedback they give, it's nothing but constructive feedback. And sometimes it's congratulations, you did this, or hey, this number's a little low. You should probably start doing this. So it's coming from a good place. Out here in California, well, especially in our household, we love to barbecue. So one of the analogies we say is like it's like a coal. And then when the different owners are together, the coals are reignited, and we're on fire again to do this and to help as many people as possible. So that's how I see it. I get reignited every time. The home improvement did that for me too.
But
But
I say the
anyways,
opposite of
next
that?
week we're at performance group and we're looking forward to that.
Can
But
I,
go
I like to say the opposite of that is if you spread the coals out and you have an owner that doesn't work in the system, then what happens to those coals? So it reignites when you put it together, but if you spread them out,
right.
they go out. It's probably been proven. If you look at the people that haven't stayed in the system, they probably weren't like participating, because you have to.
Yeah. It makes us feel, oh, we're not alone in this. Oh, other people are having this issue. Okay, it's not so bad. So it's helped tremendously.
Good. Well, thank you so much. And so finally, in thinking about prospects who are actually looking at the right at home franchise model and possibly ownership, what would be one piece of advice that you would give them?
Well, we've given a lot of advice to a lot of people because they have this right at home thing called validation, right? Where they can call up owners, and we answer calls all the time. So, Well, I would find out what they're trying to do first, and then one of the biggest pieces of advice that I got from that same guy in Brooklyn, uh, uh, but is that when you start out, it's going to be you and one other person. And then the temptation is going to be that, look, I can't add another person until I get to this revenue. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem to work that way. What you have to do is you have to get that person that replaces a part of you, and does it better than you. Let's say accounting. Let's say, we're both from mechanical engineer, electronic engineers. Not that we're bad at accounting, but it's not our favorite thing. And then there's people out there that love accounting, which is crazy. We have one right next door, Kevin Carcott, loves. Can you see the difference? So then you make the splurge and you can't really afford it, but you get that other leg that is better than you at that. And so then you're no longer doing that because they're doing it really well. And now you can focus on growth. But if you're just constantly fighting all of it, you're spending nights and days doing numbers and then your energy, so you get the point. Is it's you gotta add before you, the way we did is like if you have a coffee table this big, it can be held up by two legs. But if you want a revenue this big, then you need another leg. And you have to get it before the table's built. It's interesting. Does that make any sense? You can't just, you have to add the person that's going to get you the growth before you get the growth, and then you will get the growth.
Right.
Yeah,
Grace?
so building the team. Well, my advice is definitely have your strong why. So every orientation that we do, I give a 3-minute speech, and it's something one of my favorite leaders did, Walt Disney, was meet with each new team members and tell them why we exist. Because we know it's not easy, but when you go back to the why part, it becomes a little easier. So yeah, a strong why. And then back to what Vernon said, build that team as soon as you can, because it's that team that's going to help carry you. It's that team that allows you to have that, work-life balance has been used so many times, but it's so true. And today's admin day, and I thank God for this team every day.
Wow, this has been wonderful. This has been
I
wonderful.
want to add something else about the team. That one of the ladies that I called up, she owned the Laguna Beach thing before I became owner. So that during the validation, I called her. And she was super frank about everything, and probably would have scared most people. But she said, "Did they tell you that it's a 24/7 business?" And I said, "Yeah, they did." And so initially, it's a 24/7 business, but as you build your team, it's not a 24/7 business for you personally and your family.
Yeah, so he can talk all day, Jenna. So go ahead, it's your turn.
I know, it's great. It's wonderful because at the end of the day, prospects love to hear the stories of our owners. And, this is a big decision and really valuable information that you both shared. So first of all, congratulations on your success. Thank you so much for all you do on a daily basis to improve the quality of life for everyone that you serve. Your care, your love, your compassion for your staff and for your clients is evident. And it really, truly is an honor to have both of you as part of our Right at Home family.
Thank you, Jenna.
Hey.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.